What's going on, everybody? This is your girl K Rich, and I am coming at you from a PK perspective. So today I had some free time, and I wasn't going anywhere in particular, so I actually have a chance to enjoy some nature. So instead of being in my car, I'm out here on one of the lakes by my house, and just doing some self-reflection, some talking to God, and I want to talk to you guys about preparation because a lot of times we get into these points in our lives where we get to places in our lives and seasons in our lives where it's the season to move forward, the season to go forward, the season to maybe make the next step or to go to the next endeavor that God has for our lives. But if we haven't prepared, we can get in this mindset of thinking that somehow God has changed his mind about his will for our life or for our purpose or for his plan. We can get to this place where we feel like God is, playing some kind of game on us. And a lot of times it's because we did not prepare. We look at people who maybe set in ministry positions or maybe set in line to get into that type of thing. And when they get there, they're completely overwhelmed. They don't know what they're doing. They get frustrated easily, and there are things that God has probably told you to do, told them to do, told us to do that we neglected to do, that we pushed off, that we half-heartedly did, and now we're in a place where we want to move forward. It's the time to move forward, but we're unprepared. And I think I've kind of spoke about this in one of my videos. If not, I'll be talking about it now. But sometime last year, I just kept getting this urge to learn Spanish. At first, I wanted to learn Italian, but it just turned into Spanish. And I can very, very distinctly remember sitting there like, I need to learn this language. I need to learn this language. And so I asked some people, who has a Rosetta Stone? Does anybody have, or anybody speak Spanish that could teach me? I actually tried to reach out to a lady who teaches Spanish, but she never got in contact with me. But I got some information, I got some CDs, I got an app. I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn Spanish. And I did not put in the effort. I did not put in the time. I let other things get in the way, and I didn't learn Spanish. And now God has me move into the Tampa area. So when I got to Tampa and got off the plane, there's a lot of people that speak Spanish. And I remember hearing these people just going in. I thought he was, to be honest, African-American guy, but he was like Dominican. And he just was going in. And I sat there and I was like, man, that's beautiful. I should have learned that. And it was like, instantly it hit me like, man, if I'm here for ministry and I'm here to reach God's people, if they speak Spanish and this is a place where everybody speaks Spanish and I can't speak Spanish, how am I going to minister to people who do? And it was like, I missed an opportunity. I missed something in the preparation field where now, if I want to, I have to find someone who can speak Spanish until I can learn to speak Spanish fluently enough to convey concepts and theories or just witness. And that's a big thing that now I could be a year in and probably be more fluent than, I thought I would be at this point. But no, and I missed that opportunity. And I missed the chance to be prepared. And so sometimes God gives us, God may say, I need you to read some more books, or I need you to read some more of this, or I need you to be in contact with this person, or I need you to, and you feel in your spirit, or you hear God say it, and we do it so haphazardly, and we neglect it or negate it altogether. And then we get to these points where we should be operating or reaping or moving, and we're stagnant and we're stuck. And we look at God like, well, God, why isn't this happening? Or we, question things like, well, God, is this really your will? Or we say, God, have you changed your mind about me? And the answer is no. You're just not prepared. You're just not prepared. And for myself, I've been in a place of self-reflection for a while now. And there are books I haven't read. Okay, I haven't learned Spanish. There are growths that I missed because I wasn't at a mental place, which I should have been, to be able to step up to the plate to be able to, fight the right way. There were times where I knew God was saying fast, and I was like, well, I can't fast, and I didn't fast. And there were times where God was like, I need you to do this. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can do that right now because of this. And I let other things in my life get in the way. And for me, like some of the fasting, of course, y'all know I'm into fitness, I power lift. And to fast, like, that was like, oh no, I'm not trying to die in the gym, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, well, do you trust me enough to keep you while you're fasting? And then he brought up Daniel and the Hebrew boys who, didn't eat the king's meat, and they were in better shape, and they were physically looked better, and they were, all these other things, versus me, who was afraid and didn't trust God enough to keep me in the midst of my fast. How crazy is that? I trust that God is there. I trust that he's telling me to fast, but I don't trust him enough to keep me while I'm fasting. Like, he's really going to let me pass out and die in the gym? No. So, I just want to implore everybody to take the time for preparation. There's no point where I would step up to, any form of competition unprepared. Whether it be basketball, whether it be powerlifting, whether it be boxing, I would never get into over my head because I was unprepared. So why are we content as Christians being unprepared, not being in our word, not fasting, not having, a regular time of communication with God, a regular, a regular time, a frame to grow ourselves, to get in our words, So I'm not just saying this to be saying it, and I'm not saying it without any self-reflection at all. I'm saying it because there are things that I've missed in my own life because I wasn't prepared. No one else's fault. God hadn't changed his mind. Nothing was changed. The path was the same. I wasn't prepared because I let things slide. And there were things I didn't do that I know I should have done. And unfortunately, we bear the weight of responsibility, the gifts and callings in our life, the relationships in our life. We are responsible for those things. And dropping the ball in those aspects is never a good thing. And you can't turn around and blame God when we were not the ones being obedient, when we didn't put in the work that it takes to be at a place where we can overcome, or we can, accomplish the miracles and walk out the prophetic calls in our life. So I'm just encouraging everybody to take the time to be prepared spiritually. You wouldn't go to a fancy restaurant with your hair undone, right? You're not gonna go, in street clothes to the opera. You're gonna spend your time and your day to prepare yourself. So I'm asking you guys, in a humble way, is to, reevaluate yourself and make sure you have utilized the tools God has placed in your life, and you've gone and sought out what it is He's asking you to add to your spiritual repertoire to be prepared for the next level, to be prepared for the mission, to be prepared for the ministry. All right? Once again, it's your guy K Rich, and I'm just coming at you from a PK perspective.